tells us that he was born around the year 50 and died sometime around the year 108. He was a disciple of St. John the Evangelist, the author of the Gospel of John. St. Ignatius is one of the great bishops of the early church. He was the third bishop of Antioch after St. Peter and St. Evodius. St. Ignatius was like a shepherd gently leading his people to understand the teachings of the apostles and to put those beliefs into practice correctly. In the year 107, the cruel emperor Trajan demanded that Bishop Ignatius publicly speak out against our faith. Ignatius refused to deny his faith. Trajan sentenced him to die by being killed by the lions in the Colosseum in Rome, which is way far from Antioch. He wanted to make an example of this holy man. On his long-way trip to Rome, he used the time to write 7 magnificent letters, which we still have today, concerning the persons of Christ, his love for Christ, his desire for martyrdom, and on the constitution of the church and Christian life. The letters reminded the members of the church to be faithful to the Lord and to follow the teachings of the bishop. They encouraged the Christian community to serve the poor and the needy, who are their brothers and sisters. Ignatius' letters have been preserved down throughout the ages, and they are still our guide in our church today. As St. Ignatius and his guards journeyed to Rome, they were met at different places by the local bishops and many members of the Christian community who came to honor him. It is said that he blessed everyone and told them he would pray for them. St. Ignatius was not afraid to die. He said that his death would be his birth into the new life made possible by Jesus' resurrection. He wrote a letter to the Church of Rome, and it reads, "I am writing to all the churches to let it be known that I will gladly die for God. If only you do not stand in my way, I plead with you, show me no ultimate kindness. Let me be food for the wild beasts, for they are my way to God." His sentiments before his approaching martyrdom are summed up in his words in the Communion Antiphon. "I am the wheat of Christ, ground by the teeth of the beast to become pure bread. Pray to Christ for me, that the animals will be the means of making me a sacrificial victim for God." The church honors St. Ignatius of Antioch. We can pray to St. Ignatius and ask him to help us grow in the faith that he has handed down to us from the apostles. Brothers and sisters, in today's gospel, St. Ignatius and Jesus is also described as a grain of wheat that fell onto the ground and died. But their death did not end there. It brought new life. This lesson is an encouragement to all of us who would see every type of suffering and contradictions as a sharing in the cross of Christ, which redeems us and exalts us. We must die to ourselves, die to our pride, die to our weaknesses, die to our selfishness. Because if a grain of wheat does not die, it remains unfruitful. Do we all want to be a grain of wheat to die to ourselves and yield a rich, fruitful harvest? St. Ignatius